Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem wa nashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa nashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respected viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This Quranic program, Quranic Understanding Program, is presented by Adult Quranic Education Program, Srinagar. Today we shall try to learn few more verses from second chapter of Quran, that is Surah Al-Baqarah, starting from verse number 236, verse number 236 onwards. Again, let me make first a point clear before, which I have been repeatedly telling you, that this Quranic class is not for scholars, learned people. It's for beginners. Just make them understand, yes, we can read Quran, we can understand it too. Otherwise, I'm not authorized, I don't feel I'm worth enough, I'm worth to deal with Quran, but it's just to make others understand, yes, we with a simple effort, we can read and simultaneously understand it too. And it will act as a guiding force for our lives. That's the intention, inshallah, starting from verse number 236, Al-Baqarah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. La junaha alaykum. There is no sin or blame upon you. O men, in talaqtumun nisa, if you divorce your women, malam tamassuhna, whom you have not even touched yet, aw tafridu lahunna farida, nor have you fixed any dower for them, that's mahar. Wamatti'uhunna, so you give them some kind of gifts. Alal musi'a qadara, for a wealthy man according to his own standards, wa al muqtiri qadara, and on a poor person according to his own status. Matam bil maruf, it is to be paid in a goodly manner, in an honorable manner. Haqqan al muslimin, this obligation on the good doers. When talaqtumuhunna, and if you divorce them, that's your women folk you divorce, min qabli an tamassuna, before even you might have touched them. Waqad faradtum lahunna farida, but you have fixed their mahar or dower. Fanisfu ma faradtum. In that case, half of the mahar is to be paid, half of the dower is to be paid. Illa an yafuna, except if the woman remits it. Aw yafu allazi biyadihi uqdatun nikah, or the person who holds the ties of marriage goes for remission. If he remits. One ta'fu aqrabu lit-taqwa. If you remit, O menfolk, that is closer to piety and righteousness. وَلَا تَنْسَوْا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Don't forget generosity between your own selves. إِنَّ اللَّهَ, verily Allah is بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ, watching of whatever you do. حَافِظُوا عَلَى الصَّلَوَاتِ, guard your prayers. وَالصَّلَاةِ الْوُسْطَى, especially the middle one. وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ, and always stand in prayers before God as his devout servants and slaves. فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ, if you are in a fearful condition, فَرِجَالًا, then salah can be offered while standing. أَوْ رُكْمَانًا, or even in the riding condition. فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ, and when you are secure, you are in peaceful situation, فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ, then remember Allah. كَمَا أَلَّمَكُمْ, as he has taught you. مَا لَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ, what you didn't know before. وَالَّذِينَ, and those يُتَوَفَّوْنَ مِنْكُمْ, who amongst you die. وَيَذْرُونَ أَزْوَاجًا, and leave behind their wives. وَصِيَّةً, they should go for biggest لِأَزْوَاجٍ, for their wives. مَتَاعًا إِلَى الْحَوْلِ, provisions for 1 full year. غَيْرَ إِخْرَاجٍ, without they being expelled from the homes. Fine kharajna, but if they move out of their houses of their own free will, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ, in that case there is no blame upon you. فِيمَا فَعَلْنَ فِي أَنفُسِهِنَّ, whatever they may do with regard to their own selves, Ma'ruf, but in a respectable manner. Wallahu Aziz, and Allah is exalted in might, Hakim and all wise. Walil mutallaqat, similarly for divorced women, mata'um bil ma'ruf, is payments in a respectable manner. Haqqan alal muttaqin, an obligation on God-fearing people. Kadhalika yubayinullah, this Allah makes clear. Lakum, for you ayat, his commands, la'allakum taqilun, so that you understand, you use your reasoning powers. Sadaqallahul azim. In these verses, firstly, two specific conditions regarding talaq have been explained. That means, okay, till now, for the last many days, we learned about talaq. I hope I have given a broader outline of Islam, the Quranic talaq, what and how, why is it allowed, and how is this the best way of separation or living together. Okay, till now we studied that when husband and wife are married, they are married, marriage is consummated, they are living together in the same house, sleeping together, but there is difference of opinion and they get separated. That's talaq, right? And what should be done, that we already learned. In today's verses, starting from verse number 236, that means verse number 236 and 237, there's another condition explained, that a person gets engaged to some, a man gets engaged to a woman, right? And there is a mutual agreement about marriage, yes, as we do here locally. That they are not yet husband and wives. They are what we call fiancés. They are would-be husband and would-be wife. And when this marriage, this knot has been tied, not marriage, not actual consummation, just two families or that man and woman have agreed to get married. And during that course, before the consummation of marriage, what we say, before rukhsati, as we say in Urdu, that woman has not yet come to the husband's house. There's difference of opinion in marriage, this breaks. This tie breaks. What is to be done? That's the condition. First, we shall learn this. La junaha alaykum. There is no blame upon you. In talaqtumun nisa. If you divorce your women, malam tamassuhunna, whom you have not even touched. Touch doesn't mean touch of hand, or touch means with whom you have no sex relation, because they are not yet your wife. They have not joined you in your house. You are not living together in the same house and in the same bedroom. That is what malam tamassuhunna. There is no blame upon you if you divorce the women, your women, whom you have not touched. That means you are not living with them as husband and wife as yet, but it is decided that you will get married. Aw tafridu lahunna faridan, nor dower has been fixed. That means even nikah has not been written and nikah document is not there. And dower means mahar, not dowry. Please make a difference between dower and dowry. Dower is allowed in Islam, not dowry. Dowry is not allowed in Islam. There is no fixation of dower. Mahar has not been fixed. At marriage, this relation breaks. What's to be done? Quran says, still, since breakage of this relation, somehow, due to one reason or the other, affects a woman more than a man. Quran says, وَمَتِّعُوهُنَّ. In that case, if you divorce your women whom you have not even touched, they are not living in your house and in your bedrooms, neither mahar or dower has been fixed as yet, and relation breaks. You give them some gifts. At least if separation is there, man is asked to at least pay something. What something? That is to be decided by Arbab Halaq. That means if there's some judge, if there's some qazi, if there's some mufti, or there's some wise men who know basics of Islam and Quran, they will decide something is to be paid to the woman. Something at least. What that they decide. Al-Musi Qadar, what is to be done? See, Al-Musi Qadara. A rich man has to pay according to his own standards. If the man is wealthy, he has to pay according to his own standards. وَعَلَى الْمُقْتِرِ قَدْرٍ, and upon a poor man, according to his own status. The things are to be decided, but something, at least some gifts or something is to be paid to the woman. Matam bil maruf, this payment is to be done in a goodly, respectable, honorable manner. Hakan al Muslim, this is an obligation upon good doers. That you have to be good, even if they are not going to be now your wives. But at least there was some commitment. There was some mutual understanding. Now you have fallen apart. Something is to be paid to that woman, to that girl who was not yet her own wife. You have to pay. That is to be decided by mutual arrangements. Then the second condition, that if husband, a man and woman, two families decide for marriage of their son and daughter, and after some time they even go for nikah. And mahar is to be fixed. It is just mahar decided. 10,000, 5,000, 100,000, 200 decided. Mahar has been fixed. But still, marriage has not consummated. That means still girl has not left her parental house and she's not living with her husband, would-be husband. No, they're still separate, but things have been settled and fixed. In the meantime, something happens. The relation breaks. But dower or mahar has been fixed. What is to be done in that case? The Quran says that in that case, mahar, what was fixed, woman is to be paid half the mahar. Half mahar. If mahar was decided as 100,000, she has to be paid 50,000, half of it. Except Quran leaves still a door open for reconciliation or mutual understanding. That if the woman remits, she says, no, I don't need, I need not to, because since we are not married, we are not married yet, out her own generosity, she says, no, I don't need. She forsakes, she remits. Or another condition is that man, he has to pay half of mahar. If he says, no, I'll pay more, instead of half, I'll pay full. And that should be the secret behind this. Even adverse conditions, that's Islam, Quran teaches us. Even separation, though it is not so pleasant an affair, unpleasant, but still some method, some system is to be maintained as prescribed by Quran. If girl remits, even if her says, she says, no, I don't need any part of mahar or dower, okay. Or simultaneously, if the man, he says, no, instead of half, I may give more than half, or even full. If 50,000 are due to me, I'll pay 60,000, 80,000, or even 100,000 full. That's good. That's it. And men folk are advised, it is better if you go for remission. That means if you give more than what was expected of you, half of mahar. That is this verse all about. When talaqtumuhunna, if you divorce them, that's your women, min qabla an tamassunna, without having even touched them, you have not even touched them. Waqad faradtum lahunna farida, but dower or mahar has been fixed. Fanisfu ma faradtum, in that case, half of the mahar or dower is to be paid. Illa an yafun, except in the if the girl forsakes, remits that, says I don't need. Aw yaful lazi biyadi uqdat nikah, or in the person in whose hands is the knot of marriage, that's male. If would be husband or man, if he shows generosity and goes for remission, that instead of just half, gives even more than that. One tafu, that Quran advises, instead of going for wranglings, for disputes, the arguments, counter-arguments, fightings, quarrels, tensions, no, in a goodly manner, one tafu akrabu li taqwa. Oh man, if you remit, that means give more than what was expected of you to give, that's akrabu li taqwa. That is nearer to piety and righteousness. That should be done. وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Quranic, see, admonition, instructions. Quranic teaching. وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Don't forget generosity between yourselves. Be generous in such moments. Be generous. Don't forget generosity between yourselves. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. Surely Allah is Allah sees, watches what you do. This was about talaq. It's almost complete statement. Now in between, there's some instruction about salah. Hafizul salawat wa salatul wusta. Hafizul salawat. O believers, guard your prayers. That means be regular in your prayers. Be steadfast in your prayers. Establish your prayers. And not only establish your prayers, but offer your prayers the manner you are expected to, with total devotion, with total sincerity, with total submission and surrender, and with total focus and concentration of mind, and simultaneously understanding what you are reciting in your salah, fulfilling all the prerequisites like wudu. That's also wudu, you have to go for wudu, and then facing Qibla, this prerequisite, praying at a place which is pure, and then going for ruku and sujood, bowing and prostration in a perfect manner, recite the words in a goodly manner, feel the presence of God. That's guarding prayers. That as Prophet be explained in a hadith, that, O believers, when you start praying, that you feel that you are seeing God yourself. But if you have not reached that state that you can feel God, Allah's presence, then at least keep feeling with you that He is watching you. That is the lowest level of faith. And that is, as I tried to explain you, Hafiz as-salawat, what does it mean? O believers, guard your prayers. Wasalatul wusta, especially the middle prayer. It has been variously interpreted what middle prayer means. Middle prayer, generally most scholars believe that it is the Asr prayers. On one hand, Fajr and Dhuhr, that's daytime prayers. On the other hand, night prayers, Maghrib and then Isha. They say it means Asr. You have to be extra careful about Asr prayers because this is the tiring time when people come from their workplaces. Laborers going exhausted, office goers feeling tired. Likewise, everyone feels inconveniences. So in that, sometimes abundance is middle prayer. That they say, that's why this middle prayer have been emphasized. That's Asr prayers. But Allah knows better. وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. And stand before Allah as His devout servants. That means when you stand in prayers, you should feel that you are presenting yourself with the Lord of the worlds. As we see in worldly things, if we go to a minister, to a high up of a man of high dignity, and because we need something from them, we're asking for some help. So what is our condition? It's not the same condition as we're talking between you and me, we're talking, or with your family or our friends, or in a general meeting. This situation is different. When you go before a king, a president, a prime minister, or somebody, so I take care. But imagine, you are in Salah, you are presenting yourself before the real king. This is all temporary, artificial kingship and presidencies. He is the real Lord and perfect Lord of all the worlds. He is the creator, He is the Lord, He is the nourisher, He is the cherisher, He is the giver. He is everything. He is the master. And we are slaves. That's why Quran says, وَقُومُوا لِلَّهِ قَانِتِينَ. While in prayers, stand before Allah as devout and most obedient slaves. That everybody should feel. You should tremble in prayers, feeling the presence of Allah the Almighty. That's prayer. Then Quran says, فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ. Because Salah is incumbent, is obligatory in all the circumstances, on all adult, on males as well as females, on rich as well as on poor. Salah is to be offered if you are healthy or even if you are sick. You are allowed, yes, if you are sick to the extent that you cannot stand, you have to, as advised by Hadith, explained properly, you cannot stand due to sickness, you can offer Salah while sitting. If you are so advanced in your sickness that you can't afford to sit, You can lie down, but you have to pray in that lying condition. And if you say Allahu Akbar and hold hands, if you are not in a position, even in lying condition, that you cannot use your limbs, hands and feet as anyone, you can still one has to pray with the movement of his eye. That means Allahu Akbar, just with movement of eyes. But that means just every time. And this, similarly, Salah is to be prayed in peaceful conditions when you are in home or peaceful surrounding and secure situation. That's okay, there's no problem. But it is to be prayed even on one certain journey. You are at a different place. Or while you are on a journey. You are, in modern times, even if you are going in an airplane, or in a moving train, or in a bus, or your own vehicle, it's to be offered. But there's a mention of special prayer here. Similarly, prayer is to be made in peaceful conditions and in wartime situations. When there's fear around for soldiers, when their guns are roaring, there are blasts all the way, there's bombardments, and the tanks and cannons are firing their firepower. That's a situation of fear. In that condition too, one has to pray. Prayer means to remember Allah. That Allah, I'm your slave, I seek your help. That's prayer, that's separate prayer. Quran says, "Fine kiftum." If you are in a fear condition, that means war. Here it means war condition. Farijala, that's you can pray while in standing. Need not to go for ruku or sujood if there is no possibility of that. You can pray you're standing, or rukmana, or even riding if you are in a horseback, camelback, or you are riding a mule, or in modern terminology, if you are moving in a cannon, in an armored vehicle, you are driving or managing a tank, or you are moving in a fighter bomber. You are moving in that condition too. For example, rukbana. If you are in a fear condition, then while standing you have to pray our rukbana, or riding condition. You still have to pray. But how? That's inshallah we'll learn in that's called Salatul Khawf. That's explained in chapter An-Nisa. There is some concession where prayer can be shortened. And how to pray, that's explained, that one has to pray. Here, that explains the importance of prayers in the daily life of a true believer. Then Quran says, "Faida amintum." And when you are in peaceful condition, you are secure, no war, no fear, normal situations around. Fazkurullah, remember Allah. That means that time you should pray a normal prayer. Kama allamakum, as Allah has taught you through His beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. Malam takuna ta'lamun, which you didn't know before. Allah made things known to you through revelations and through beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. That's in between the salah. Then again, just about if a person dies and he leaves behind his spouse, widow, what's written? وَالَّذِينَ يُتَوَفَّوْنَ مِنْكُمْ, and those amongst you who die, وَيَذْرُونَ أَزْوَاجًا, and leave behind their wives, وَصِيَّةً لِأَزْوَاجِهِمْ, they can go for bequest or for a will for their wives. مَتَانَ إِلَى الْحَوْرِ, what that will has to be? Maintenance for 1 year. That they have to be maintained, paid maintenance for 1 year. غَيْرَ إِخْرَاجٍ, without being expelled from the husband's house. If they move out of their own, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ, then there is no sin upon you. فِيمَا فَعَلْنَا فِي أَنفُسِنَا, whatever they may do about their own selves, مِن مَعْرُوفٍ, in a respectable and goodly manner. But we have to remember about this verse. This was initial command about this, where full law had not come about inheritance. And if a person dies, then we know Quran laid down full laws of inheritance. If a person dies and he leaves behind his wife or son and daughter, children, or father and mother and others who can be eligible for that. There are fixed shares. I just explain like this. When a person dies, he leaves behind his wealth. Out of his wealth, wife is entitled to 1/8 of total. 1/8 of husband's wealth she inherits automatically. If she has children, if the husband wife had children, 1, 2, or any number of children, if they were childless, they didn't bear any child, they were childless, then woman has a right of 1/4 of the total property left by the husband. So this, and about son, daughter, we know. In property to be distributed, then in the ratio of 2:1. Son double and daughter single share. Now it is done. This command was pronounced before that final law was promulgated. So this law is not now applicable. Now it is this, as we learned this yesterday. When anybody amongst you dies and leaves behind his wife, she has a waiting period of 4 months and 10 days. Then she can remarry, and she can, not only that, she will inherit 1/4 or 1/8 part of her husband's property. Then if she wishes, she can go for another marriage. This was what we are studying now. It was revealed prior to that. Then the final law came. That's we have to understand. Wallahu Aziz, and Allah is Almighty, Hakim, and He's all wise. Walil mutallaqat, for the divorced women, mata'am bil ma'ruf, is due payment in a goodly manner, as we learned in our previous classes. Haqqan al muttaqin, this is an obligation to be fulfilled by those who are righteous people. Kadhalika yubayyinullahu, thus Allah makes clear lakum, for you, ayati, His command. Thus, as we have been learning for many days, for the last few days, we have learned about how to manage, how to do in adverse situations, talaq, separation, how to be organized, that everything. Kadhalika yubayyinullahu lakum ayati. This, thus Allah makes clear to you His commands, His instructions, His admonitions. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, so that you think, you ponder, you use your reasoning powers, and so that you understand it properly. And not only understand, they apply it in letter and separate, and not to deviate, not to act as an ignorant person acts, or not to be arrogant despite finding laws on different aspects of life. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم والحمد لله رب العالمين.